Really don't want to butcher this or not do it any justice. But this episode of Botan Fully Blossoms When Drunk, episode 8, is an episode to keep a watch on, to keep your eye on. Very closely. You need to pay attention to every single detail. Now, there's people who are way more qualified about the details, who worked on the animation style of this episode in general on my list. I was reading it and honestly I was blown away by the analysis that they did in here. Right here, right off the bat, you can see yes, this is a Shunsuke Okubo from Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. So you can see here someone from Jujutsu Kaisen actually worked on his anime. If you want further information on that, just go on my list right here on the discussion. But what I want to really talk about is how much of a nobody Akane was for me the entire season until episode 8. So this episode was about right here, Yusa Akane. And so far, we really haven't seen much of her, or at least I really didn't notice her. But this episode, the animation style, the cinematics, like that post said from that one user, it was someone from Jujutsu Kaisen who worked on it. It was just superb, c'est magnifique. You could just really feel the vibes, as they say. A lot of people are saying this had such a great vibe. It was atmospheric. One user on page 2, you know, called it the Mona Lisa of Yuri anime. Let me just find it here really quick. It was from this user right here. The Mona Lisa of Yuri anime. This should literally be hanging in a gallery. It is so damn good. So right off the bat, you already know what I'm trying to say here. But like I was saying earlier, though, yes, it was atmospheric. But not only just that, but Akane really did shine in this episode. She really was, like I've reiterated like 3 or 4 times now, a nobody. But you could really feel her, how do I say, her disappointment. You could really feel the tension in the air. And then combine this with the atmosphere of Japan. You could tell that they're like in a busy Tokyo roads, or I'm not really sure where the location is, but you can see here the disappointment in her eyes, the feelings that she's conveying, the insecurity of her future, her criticisms to her bandmates, and the tension between her and the bandmates, as she's saying, hey, you got to work on this, you got to work on that, we need a better tone here, hey, lighten things up, hey, the guy in the drums, do this, do that, you got to make things better. You can tell that she's just really committed to this band work. Meanwhile, her bandmates are not as committed, so you can really just feel her tension, her emotions, her frustration. Everything just comes colliding all at the same time, all in one moment, right before you know it, right before your eyes. Unless you watch this episode, you will not believe how amazing this feeling really was. I could just really just see, like, put myself in her shoes. That's how human they made this. And like I said, the point of view, man, the point of views that they put in here, it really felt like you were in the episode yourself. They really did Akane justice in this episode. Giving her the screen time that she really I didn't feel like she really got. And then this quickly changes. The segues from her disappointment to, meeting up with the main MCs. She meets up with Shinlin. She meets up with Kitamori. She hangs out with Botan. Yes, Botan. So she meets up with all 4 of her, some of her colleagues from, I think they all live together, right? What the fuck? They all live in a dorm or apartment or something like that. And so you could just feel the segue, the change in the atmosphere, the change in the vibes, where she has all this baggage on her, or at least that's life. There's a song called "That's Life," something something something. That's life. And she's going through these emotions internally. And then you can see here when her friends come in, it shifts. The vibe shifts to being calm or more tranquil, and then her friends start questioning her like, "Hey, are you okay? Does your stomach hurt?" They're trying to look out for her. So that immediately just, you can tell that all her worries, they were starting to drift away, and things were becoming more calm. Iterate. Just showing that how important friendships really are. And even though life is moving on, your friends will always be there. You got people you can rely on. And they go out for drinks. Of course, these guys are like, I think drinking age in Japan is like 19 years old or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But they are of drinking age in Japan. Yeah, even though they look like they're young, yeah, they're oh man, there's no biography here. Let me see how old Botan is. They don't even have any information on Botan. Let's see Ibuki here. Yeah, no information. But they're all drinking age. So she's sharing a drink, and then right here, this is where you can truly feel everything just come together. When her friend probes into her situation, and says, you know what, that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave it there, and then just moves on. And you can tell that there's more tension, more things to talk about. But obviously, they know their boundaries, so you can see how close they are by their boundaries. Then here, things the segue again, yet again. It goes from being very serious, high tension to just atmospheric. You can feel what Japan would feel like. Like, I've never been, honestly. I wish to visit, but no, it just feels like I was in Japan. It's like I don't really need to go anymore. I watched this anime, and that, like, you just feel the atmosphere of Japan. Like, this was like a regular group here in Japan. They're going out, just chilling, and that's just the first half, guys. We haven't even gotten to the second half, where Shanlan and Botan, they go out to have drinks and talk even more personal things. So this anime just gets so personal. It gets so grounded. You just feel, you could just they really just feel human. They really feel human. It doesn't feel artificial. There's a lot of anime. The fantasy is just too much that it just feels artificial. It's just a fantasy. But here, it just really feels like you're getting to know these characters. They're becoming part of your life, and you're just starting to have a connection with these characters. That's exactly what this is. We are having a connection with these characters, and it just the greatest feeling that I've felt in a long time. And so when they say this is the Mona Lisa, or this was by a certain screenwriter, they've really just hit a home run. And guys, that's just, I can honestly go on about what goes on in this episode, but one thing I want to make sure you guys understand is the OST, the background music, the musical numbers. They were just superb. They were just so well done. They were everything that you could wish for in an anime. This had it. This did it. This was fantastic. This was superb. Semanifique, 10 out of 10. We ate good. They fed us good, guys. Don't miss this anime. And I hate to say it too, no one's watching this. 40,000 members voted, 5,000 people, 5,000 votes. But look at the score, guys. At 8, damn near at 8. This is one gem you do not want to miss. This is one anime you don't want to sleep on. This is one of those animes where you will be surprised, because not all the episodes are like this. They're not. I'll tell you that right now. Maybe episode 1 to 3, maybe episode 1 to 4. It just feels a little wonky. But if I remember correctly, like episode 5, 6, or 7, it just becomes a really cinematic, scenic, just a wonderful vibe, beautiful vibe.